So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you some things that are going to make you agree. I'm going to tell you some things that you're going to clap for. I'm going to tell you some things that you're going to cringe about. The cringe is good. The cringe is the awkward realization of a truth that maybe you didn't recognize for that moment. The cringe is the awkward recognition that you haven't been doing enough of the thing that I'm talking about that you actually know in the inner recesses of your mind is actually true. Okay? So we all family in here. And sometimes, you know, little brother beats you up a bit. It's all right. It's fine. Okay? I want to say this first. You have to understand that even though we're all patriots in here, we all, you know, love freedom and all those different things, we are very, very far away from our founding documents. We are very, very far away from our personal liberties and freedoms. And we are very, very far away from righteousness. We're in a space where civics are being removed or have been removed from our young people's schools that you pay for. We are in a space where, how many gun owners are in here? Outstanding. These are rookie numbers over here. Those numbers up.
How many are carrying?
We are in a space where I'm told that if I come into this room, this is a Klan rally. Don't go in there. They got the guns, they're gonna shoot you, you never make it out. Now we laugh, right? Well, in Philly, where I'm from, I'm already, as I'm snapping pictures of everybody here on social media, they're like, yo, you in that movie, get out. Now, we can laugh at it in this room because we know it's not true. It's not true. But the other side of people whose minds have been effectively and thoroughly brainwashed by left media, they genuinely have been conditioned to believe that. The problem with that is usually I don't care if somebody believes something that's wrong. That's freedom. You can remain as stupid as you want to. Okay? But the problem is the people in the places that have been conditioned to believe that, we need their numbers. In the state, we need their numbers. I'm from Philly. They'll use the crime based on ignorance and the lack of freedom, the lack of firearms ownership, the lack of a cultural and intelligent breakdown of what the Second Amendment actually means and how it empowers all citizens. They'll use that because that's not there, because it's, again, not in civics, not in the schools. They'll use that, and then when the ignorance that comes from that culture spreads, they'll make rules that you're now subject to. We've seen this. It's not new. Here's the crazy stuff. One, our founding fathers shot people for violating our freedoms.
Yeah.
Cringe, 2 people clap. The Second Amendment is not about our hunting. Our elected servants have forgotten that. They have no reason to change. We haven't given them a reason to do so. All we've done is get behind the people that we choose, that we like. I can DM Don Jr. and be like, hey, yo, I'm right next to a cutout of your dad. It's cool. Hey, man, I'm in the White House. I'm in your house. Are you home? Right? The problem is, it doesn't end or begin with just one individual. And this dude, like, if he's a billionaire, right, and he's getting attacked, what about the rest of us? Now, here's the next cringe thing. I want you to all look around this room. You see how many people raised their hand when I said who in here? And if you don't want to say you're a gun owner, you might got some full all that you don't. It's fine. Say nothing. Freedom's freedom to me. Okay? You see how many hands that went up when I said how many gun owners there are in here? Okay, let's cringe moment. How many black people are in here? Two.
Black heart.
Black heart. Now, the reason why this is a cringe-worthy moment, we made fun of it, it's light, right? The numbers, they have done a very effective job of convincing both sides that they're sides. Nobody knows what the Bacon's Rebellion was about. Nobody knows that the Black Panther Party, a big chunk of the Black Panther Party's membership was white people. Most of that leadership roles of the Black Panther Party in the 60s, not talking about the new guys, I don't know what those guys are. But most of the leadership roles in that organization were women. Women are the largest growing segment of gun owners in America. Have we effectively engaged women? Have we effectively engaged quote-unquote minority groups? I'm gonna say y'all, because like I'm the one black dude, so I'm gonna say y'all. Okay? You all in this room have a job and a responsibility that's like 2 or 3-fold. 1 is to educate. 2 is to expose. We are in a matrix of ignorance, deliberately. Our media, most effective devil in America. Write that down. It's really good. It's a t-shirt. Okay? Before this one out, the media has convinced us that we're against each other. The media has convinced my demographic that, again, this is a Klan rally. We are living in the Tower of Babel. Nobody communicates with each other. We're just babbling past each other. But somebody's convinced us all that that person over there is the problem. It's the white people. You know, you got so much white privilege, it's crazy. It's crazy. This is the phrase of white privilege. None of you heard it 5 years ago. It is a media term. It's the same posturing, it's the same word, it's spelling. They're casting spells. Spelling. We're gonna say this is an assault rifle. We're gonna say this is a minority. We're gonna say you have white privilege. Well, why can't I have black privilege? Why isn't that word a word? It's game. The problem is we're losing. How we're losing is 1. How many people in here? Now I know there's a lot of you older gentlemen and gentlewomen in here. I know not to mess with you because you are very dangerous. You're very dangerous. However, how many people in here are under the age of 25? 1, 2, 3. That guy's smart. 3. Say the black dude again. Now here's the question. At the March for Our Lives rally, how many people in there are over 25? Very few. Very few. The left, because they don't have actual facts, they're very good at PR. They're very good at optics. We have to become better. How we do that in this room? I understand the makeup of Allentown. You know, hood dudes like being in Phillies, better cheesesteaks, this is what it is. Okay? However, the responsibility that you are now forced to deal with, it's a responsibility that you have to deal with because your rights are actually under attack. You have to find people that do not look like you. If CNN came in here right now, they would use your hues, your skin, very racist. They would use your skin and the collective organizing of you and say, you guys are racist and you didn't want any black people in the room. How do you protect against that? It's gonna sound harsh and cringeworthy, but you have to find multicultural people that understand freedom and make them be in this room with you. Not because you're talking about, I want you to come be my token. No, it's because our freedoms and our liberties are aligned. That's why they spend so much money, time, resources, energy to make sure that you are not aligned. That's why they say we're just here to help. Please stop helping us. Stop. So you're charged with that responsibility. You're also charged with this. You have to accept the fact that this is going to sound harsh. You have to find out what your personal level of commitment to this is. George Washington and the squad, with contradictions. As a black man, I'm going to tell you, the founding fathers had contradictions. And some of the other founding fathers told them about it. Thomas Paine, T-Paine was like, yo, Thomas Jefferson, like, you just wrote the Declaration of Independence with your own people. It's a reality. Cringe. That's a reality. We have to own that, because if not, the beautiful things that we found from our founding fathers, the fact that there's only founding fathers is another part of the problem. There's no founding mothers. Think about that. We have to expose those contradictions, because if not, the left will exploit them. They will exploit them. You know why I don't get called like a racist? Because they can't use the race card on me. They can use it on all the rest of you. You have to take those things away from them. Okay? In doing so, you also have to find out what your personal level of commitment, that's the point that I was making, is. George Washington and the squad took a boat without a motor and dredged it across a river, an icy river, in the middle of winter to go kill the opposition. That was their level of commitment. If you're not committed to that level of protection of your freedoms, stop calling yourself a patriot. Stop. Your level of commitment to this thing is, and it's one of my favorite movies, 300. I just think of Leonidas in my head. The people that left saw the movie, you guys will Netflix it later. In the movie, Leonidas said to, there's a scene in the movie where one of the guys was there and he was stacking the wall, and one of the emissaries from, Xerxes' squad came over and was like, yo, y'all can't be here, and Xerxes is the king, and blah, 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 and he's still like making the wall. He's like, look at me. And he's like, well, we actually doing this, and we're like gonna kill you, so we don't really have time to like go back and forth with you. He's like, you don't understand. We have so many soldiers and with so many arrows, our arrows will blot out the sun. And he looked at him and he said, then we will fight in the shade. That's a level of commitment. You have to find out what your level of commitment is. Freedom is not free. The attack is on every single level of human activity. Education, entertainment, labor, law, religion, sex, war. Every single area of human activity, there is an attack to turn you from, instead of just being a free-thinking individual, your own self-governing republic, into a battery. Just charged enough to spend, work, spend some more. That is not freedom. I challenge you all with finding people outside of your current circle. I challenge you all to scare, because you know your level of commitment, just like our founding fathers did. Scare your public servants into understanding that they work for you, you do not work for them, and hold them accountable. I'm running for city council in Philly. I am in the epicenter of the shenanigans. In city council, there's these big black gates on the hall where city council is. I used to take tours when I was in high school. And I would go, yo man, what are those big black gates for? Those gates in City Hall in Philadelphia are from when the people would be so disgusted with what the city councilmen and women were doing that they would literally have to run upstairs and pull these big wrought iron gates to keep the people out. You have to scare your politicians. They're not afraid because you haven't defined your level of commitment to this freedom thing. If you're willing to help out with some of those things, support the statesmen, not politicians, the stateswomen that are fighting for and with you. There are representatives in this fight. We have to do that. And we have to come to grips with the fact that the big cities are not separate from the smaller counties. They play them both off each other. Oh, it's those people over in Allentown, they don't care, because they got their nice houses. Oh, it's only the people in Philly, they don't care. They in the cities, they don't care. It's the Tower of Babel. It's one person in the middle, controlling a whole bunch of other people, telling them both the same lies. Okay? So in leaving, I appreciate you all for listening to me, for hearing me. I am running for city council in Philly. That's a really cool shirt. It says make the hood great again. So if you want all this stuff where you can support the work that we're doing with firearm safety, conflict resolution, de-escalation, and political education, GoFundMe. If you want to donate, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's GoFundMe.com/Black Lives Matter. I'll be into that greatly if you have more questions about that. And again, I'm running for city council. Oh yeah, questions. Oh, cool, I can answer questions. Now here's the thing about questions. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't owe you a lie. Gotti used to say, I know it's a horrible reference, I know. But John Gotti used to say he doesn't lie because only people that are afraid lie. I'm not afraid. I got a gun, so I'm good.
We'll do the same thing. Raise your hand. We'll pass you a mic.
Don't play me and don't not raise your hand, because I'm going to be super embarrassed if nobody raises their hand for a question.
Did you hear what he said? The same thing we've been saying here for the last several years. They are attacking us at every level, and he's here with some courage to come up here and to stand up to the city of Philadelphia and to stand up here to come here. Thank you for coming today. But also, don't walk away today and not engage in what's going on here today.
Any question? Engage. Right there. Any question? If it's a question about how to engage urban America, how to not, well, what if I look like a racist? All that type of stuff, the stuff that you think but don't want to ask it now. I promise you I got an answer for it. Go ahead, sister.
My question is, what was your journey? How did you get to the position you are today? What was the moment that made you come to this conclusion?
I used to rob drug dealers for a living.
Truthfully?
Yeah, I just never got caught. So in doing that, several things that I learned in that very dangerous occupation. One, I recognize how much we justify things. The more so for example, my justification was, well, I'm robbing him because he's a drug dealer, right? In my mind, right? I've never turned my firearm on a citizen ever in my life. I hope I never have to, not even a self-defensive setting. But in my mind, I told myself this thing, right? When in reality, the war on drugs, the founding fathers like Ben Franklin smoked weed. Like, that's not me making it up. Now, I don't smoke, I smoke cigars, right? But cigars, that's cancer. Let's be clear. If you smoke cigars, like me, a lot of them, I'll probably get throat cancer. That's freedom. I'm aware, and I'm making a decision. So understanding the distinction between, well, this one was lawful, and I can show you 500,000 people a year that die from cigars and cigarettes, right? But this one's unlawful because the state said so when the founding fathers said, leave it up to the people in the states because the federal government should be out of it. So because I didn't have the information, right? Or then when I did have the information, I continued to justify it. So that was one of the things that I learned from that. And I'm like, wow, how far are we away from freedoms? And how much do we justify not knowing or not applying the information? And then I started, the second thing was I recognized, man, these guys are selling drugs, but they have no situational awareness. They're always in their phone. It's so easy for me to rob them. So in knowing that and studying and going, yo, you might want to have some situational awareness. We're all on our phones, walking down the street, doing this. Everybody looks like lunch meat to me. So in those two areas, it's like, okay, how can I inform somebody to not go that same route? I just got lucky and never got caught, right? And two, How can I train somebody that's not a drug dealer getting robbed, but just a young lady going to her class? How can we show her about situational awareness? And so seeing it on that side and living through it, and then going on this side, it's like, oh, we have answers. You know, and then starting to see certain people are dying because of the lack of, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Just give people the knowledge. So that was really what kind of started it for me. Thank you. Back there, and then there's a brother back there too. Go ahead. Yes.
Your opposition, you must have some. Who are they and how are they opposing you?
They're
What are
afraid
they
of me.
saying?
They're afraid of me. They haven't figured out how to, so my opposition is usually left media, right? They don't attack me though, they can't, because they've used the race card on everybody else, they can't use it on me, right? And so what they'll do, what they do now is they'll just try to ignore me. And then, because then they'll go, well, we can't out-argue him. We can't, he's from the, he lives in, I live in a gutter. Still, I love it. I can predict everything. That's the bad guy, she's hot, he's evil. I can see everything. So it's comfortable for me. So they can't, I'm from the demographic, they can't use the race card. You almost can't give him a platform. He's too well versed, like he was saying, a politician can't go back and forth with me. And I make it very simple. I speak in very simple parables, you know. And so the best thing for them, and rightfully so, the best thing for them to do is to ignore me. Neglect is my ally. Write that down too. So they don't really push me that way. What they're going to do in the city council run, right now I'm under the radar. They go, well, he's a libertarian. The libertarians never win anything. Ignore him. They don't know how much I fundraise. Again, I need fundraising, you guys. And they're like, oh, that's so cute. You're like, oh, you're like the cute little engine that could. Keep going. And I like that. I like that. You know, so they attack me by trying to ignore. But as we gain more and more steam, I'm shadow banned on all social media platforms. Right? So as we gain more steam too, when we get closer to the election, they're going to bring real pain. They're going to use my personal life. They're going to use, he was a drug dealer. They're going to use all of that. And so that's how they'll try to use it, you know, in the future. But that's cool though. I mean, they lied on Jesus, so I'm cool. Who else? Brother in the back. Yeah, oh, brother right here too. Oh, I'm done? Sorry, y'all. Wait, what is it? Who is it?
Right there.
Oh, okay. That's the last one. I'm gonna be here though. I'm gonna hang out for a bit because there's drinks in the back.
That's it. My name is Tim.
Hey, Tim.
I'm from Brooklyn. Served time in the Navy, ex-correctional officer,
Yeah.
and I worked for the IBEW for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
What bothers me the most is when I'm out and about and I meet a lot of people. I can talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But when I'm talking, people literally might be walking by
Mm-hmm.
and say, man, you're racist
Mm-hmm.
because of what I believe in.
Yeah.
I'm listening to you tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be ideal for you and us or others to get together
Mm-hmm.
and show the people of this country, the media,
Yeah.
that we have a group of people here, that we don't follow along
Yeah.
with what's going on?
Right.
It would be unbelievable. I mean, I have so many friends out there that are afraid to talk, because every
Yeah.
time they talk, you're racist, you're racist. Now, I'm going to ask you,
Sure.
what about your friends? What do they say? Are we racist?
So some of my friends, so yeah, in essence, the question that you're asking is, my friends from my demographic, yes, until they have a conversation with you all. That's why I'm telling you, your job is to find someone that's not like you, doesn't have the same skin tone, doesn't live in the same neighborhood, may not even be a Trump supporter. That's what objectivity and freedom is actually about. So, yes, unequivocally, they are under that matrix. They watch CNN if they watch news. And even local news, it has a left spin. That's just what it is. They are better at PR. We've been existing in facts The facts are boring. And unless you have a passion for facts, you don't care. Never mind if Venezuela less than 20 years ago was an economic powerhouse and now they begging for bread in the street.